in relation to now the subluxation is in reality the brain having a distorted perception of body position. Okay, essentially that's what we're dealing with. I look around the room here and I see a bunch of faces drawn at random from the chiropractic profession, and by and large that concept has been grasped and appreciated by the people in this room, and that's why you're here today, I suspect. There's still, in our profession, there is still a lot of recklessness going on, clinical recklessness going on, and I can tell you that in more than one university around the world, the basic philosophy, if you can use that term, is that it doesn't actually matter what level or what side you make neurological input, just make neurological input because it's all good. And it's all about getting hands-on and blah, blah, blah. You know what, people? I like science. And I like philosophy. And the two go hand in hand. They're not opponents in a war. They don't contradict one another. And when you see the problem we have on the one hand, in the left wing of chiropractic, we have people hiding their incompetence and their lack of scientific demands on themselves, discipline, they hide that behind a philosophy that really is nothing more than a very wobbly new age bunch of globby nonsense. On the other end of the spectrum, we have people who have become so scientific they've out-scientific the scientists, and nothing's any good. If I go to the body and I examine the body in a very disciplined, systematic way every time the same time, and I find that I've got a lateral flexion loss and I've got a rotational loss and I've got a certain collection of neurological findings, and when I put all those particular findings together, I have an atlas subluxation, and I take contact here and adjust that atlas subluxation, and all of those findings are gone, and I can do it again and again and again and again to the point that it's predictable. That's the fundamental basis of science, and that's the principle of reproducible observation. Okay? And from there it becomes a matter of nailing down mechanisms until the point where you come up with law. Do you know, in the whole practice of medicine, and our field, as you know, is paediatrics, I've had any number of conversations with any number of people at different levels in medicine. They all say the same thing. The hardcore, the hard science evidential base for the practice of paediatric medicine is approximately 27%. So 73% of the time, these guys are making an educated guess based upon the phenomenon of observation. And they're watching to see, if I do this, I generally will see that happen, but it's not a law, it's not hard and fast data. Now, we come along and we are following that same model, and our people have no issue with that. But try to get a mental picture here, people, of the brain sitting up in the top of the body, totally dependent upon being able to synthesize information correctly, sensory information correctly, looking down at the body, and you know, you get a baby comes to you and they hold their head like that. You see these kids, don't you, in their practices? They hold their head like, why do they hold their head like that? So, because they hold their head like that because the right and left side of the brain are not synthesizing sensory information correctly and producing an appropriate motor output. So what do our medical people do? They block the kid so that the pillows push the kid's head this way. And the brain says, no, that's not where it is. And slowly the kid turns around, their head comes back to be in this position.